This video represents simple cleaning and regreasing of an Exlar GSX actuator. The first step in the disassembly is to remove the tie rod nuts from the back of the actuator. This is done simply with a socket wrench or box end or open end wrench. Once the tie rod nuts are removed, any flange accessories or the faceplate can be removed from the front of the actuator. What is shown now is the removal of the anti-rotate device, simply disconnecting the clamp, removing the flange, the anti-rotate device, and the tie rods all as one assembly. Because the tie rods are removed, the faceplate is now attached to the actuator solely by its O-ring seal. Using a small dead blow hammer, the faceplate can be tapped off. Turning the roller screw main rod counterclockwise, the screw can be threaded out of the actuator. Using a clean rag, lint-free, remove the excess grease or old grease from the roller screw assembly. Set the roller screw aside. Using a fiberglass stick or similar plastic device that will not leave debris in the cylinder, gently scrape the edges of the cylinder to remove any excess old grease. Return the screw to the cylinder by turning clockwise and threading it all the way in until the screw reaches the bottom of the cylinder and stops rotating. After the screw has traveled fully into the cylinder, remove it again. This process will help to remove additional old grease that was not removed by the plastic or fiberglass stick. Again, clean the roller screw assembly using a clean rag. Again, use the fiberglass or plastic stick to remove excess grease from the inside surface of the threaded cylinder. We're now ready to re-grease the threaded cylinder. Using a grease gun, apply a bead of grease along the bottom of the cylinder from the front to the back. This can be done using a grease gun or another tool to insert the grease. Using the same plastic or fiberglass stick, spread the grease around the diameter of the cylinder, creating a thin film. Excess grease will be carried out on the stick. Apply a bead of grease between every other roller on the roller screw assembly. Turn the roller screw clockwise back into the threaded cylinder. Again, turning it clockwise until it travels the length of the cylinder, reaches the bottom, and stops rotating. You're now ready to return the faceplate on the assembly. Position the oil port for a GSX actuator in the same position that it was at the beginning. Seal lubricant to the inside surfaces of the seal and to the O-ring on the outer diameter of the faceplate pilot. Also applies seal lubricant to the seals within the front seal and bushing assembly or in the seal assembly of the faceplate for a GSM actuator. Carefully slide the faceplate over the main rod, avoiding damage to the seals by the threaded rod end. Push the faceplate fully onto the actuator Reinsert the tie rods through the faceplate holes. Assemble the anti-rotate mechanism onto the main rod wrench flats. For a clevis mount actuator, return the rear clevis plate over the tie rods. For an actuator that does not have a clevis mount, this rear plate will not have been removed and the tie rod nuts will be reassembled. Return the washers and tie rod nuts finger tight to the tie rods. Using a torque wrench and an alternating pattern of tightening the tie rod nuts, tighten the tie rod nuts to the torque indicated in the manual for the appropriate size GSX or GSM actuator that you have. The alternating pattern of tightening the tie rod nuts will ensure a square assembly after final torque. Pay attention to the front of the actuator to make sure that the tie rods don't turn during assembly and protrude past the faceplate or front flange surface of the actuator during tightening. If they do, they can be backed off as shown here, return to the proper position, and the nut retightened. That completes the simple cleaning and regreasing procedure. For actuators that have other accessories or for further assistance, you can contact Exlar Corporation, or for a full disassembly, cleaning and regreasing of your product, you can contact and arrange with Exlar Corporation.